We are finally back home. The first home game of 2025, Man United taking on Southampton in what should be an interesting tie. Listen, United is on form, but all eyes are on one thing. Can this team be consistent, keep the hunger against the smaller teams or the lesser opposition? Well, that's the multi-million dollar questions. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. It's pre-match day or match day eve, and definitely, of course, you expect some good team news. There is not any major injury concern in terms of players who are fit for the previous game. Before the last game against Arsenal, Amorim did hint on a sort of a knock or suffered by Ahmad Diallo, but he was able to come on for a bit, so meaning he should be able to start this one. Expect certain changes. The big question should be, how is Ruben Amorim going to help his players to recover from what was an intense night in London? What exactly can he do? But certainly he must have figured it out already. Now, for me, there is one thing I'm looking at as a blessing in disguise. For the first time, we're not going to have Diogo Dallo around in a long time. I don't remember the last time Diogo Dallo was either injured or he was unavailable for selection. But because of his red card in the FA Cup, he's not going to be playing this one. So meaning probably Tyrell Malaysia will be the one to step up and take up that place. Now, good enough, Malaysia came in as well and played against Arsenal. So he has got some bit of minutes in him. And you expect him probably to be the one that Amorim will look up to come and deputize on the left wing back, most probably. So those are some of the changes you expect. Expect Lenny Yoro probably to start in the back line. I think he's going to rest Maguire or delete, and whereas it's probably his best back three now, Lisandro Martinez, delete, and Harry Maguire. I think it's only normal for them to get a rest now because they played so many minutes in that win against Arsenal. So expect the Lenny Yoros, the likes, to come in. Martinez is never tired, evergreen, so certainly I think he could be starting. But I mean, it's Amorim, and you don't know what he might pull. He might shock us and start Kukonki on the left of the back three in place of Martinez, and he rests him. But thing is, I expect certain sports changes. Maybe Rasmus Højlund might be on the bench. We might expect to see Joshua Zirkzee start. I think he's picked up a bit, and he must be in a better sort of mood for himself as a player to be able to come out and start and put on a show in that Southampton game. But for me, regardless who starts again, for me, what I want to see is the Man United players maintaining that hunger and desire to fight for the badge, because you can imagine, and I must have thought of what Man United players were thinking before. I mean, people pay lots of money, spend lots of money to book flights just to come and support you and cheer you. For you to earn so much money, the least you can do is look like you're fighting, is look like you're willing to give it all, because there are people, millions and millions of people who are watching you now, leave alone those even who travel and come from Singapore, from wherever, to come to Old Trafford. You can imagine that game at Old Trafford. Perhaps a big number of the people who will be watching the game won't be from the UK or from Manchester. There are people who will have traveled, booked flights from wherever, from Singapore, from Africa, from whichever places, lots of money, spend it to come and watch Man United play. If you're a player on that pitch, you've got to die a little. You've got to die a little, because the money they spend is coming mostly to you, because that's why players earn crazy money a week. So for me, it doesn't make sense to see Man United players don't want to fight in certain games, in every game, because it's a huge honor and opportunity for you to be the center of attention, to be the one playing for a club like Man United. I mean, it's a blessing, I should say. You're blessed. People are struggling to make their money, and they come to spend it on you just to watch you play and earn a lot of their money, and you can't really put in a fight. I think for me, that's what the message Amorim put out there to all players, I think, was clear. It must have been clear. Fight and die for the club, even if you don't win. For as long as people have seen you, I will tell you, the best Man United game all United fans will tell you they have watched, I think, in a long time, was that 2-2 draw at Anfield. And it's not even that Man United won it. United has won games by 4-0 and stuff. But in that game, everyone left satisfied and impressed. The Arsenal game, even if United hadn't won, no one would leave complaining. But you see, the thing is, if you fight that match, it's usually going to be so difficult for you not to win. So that fight is what you want to see consistently. There is low key some disquiets about whether we'll maintain it against the lesser opposition like this Southampton today, or rather, tomorrow. But I want to believe that this is now the new normal. This is the new setting that Ruben Amorim has put this team into. This is going to be the default setting that if you're not this hungry, you don't want it enough. Because how many games have we watched this season or under Eric Ten Hag you're saying these players don't want it enough? You're playing against a team like Nottingham Forest and they want it more than you. How? You're playing Fulham at Old Trafford and they want it more than you. How? That's illegal. You've got to want it. Now, I think Amorim in the past two games has proved, I think has tried to solve that. That was against Liverpool and Arsenal. How will they look against Southampton? For me, that's very important. They've got to be as deadly, as hungry, as angry as well, as hostile, if I would call it that, as they were in those two big games against Arsenal and Liverpool. If that's not the case, anything short of the hunger we saw, I think United supporters will be looking and saying, you know what, you guys all took us for a ride. You're taking us back to square one, where we don't want to be at all. So it's a very important game, and the turning point for Amorim for me might have come on the Liverpool game, the performance they put on. But this game for me is what is going to seal it. If we see the same hunger and attitude against Southampton, this is the game that's going to make me go, this is it. This is the manager. United is back. If they maintain that attitude, that's all I want to see. I don't care who is on the pitch. It might be Onana returning in between the sticks or maintaining Altel Bindel, who is in a good place with himself now. It doesn't matter who is starting on the pitch. I will tell you, even if it's the old timers, the Casemiros, I will tell you, if this team shows the same hunger, whichever player steps on that pitch, the Toby Colliers might start in the middle. If they show the same hunger and desire, trust you me, United is back, and everybody out there will be convinced that indeed things are headed where they're supposed to go. So that's a bit of what we can look out for as we go into this game. I think for me that's the most important thing. But away from, of course, the psyche and the hunger of the players, well, the talk again is about who then will be brought into this squad to improve it. If you watch United games and you feel satisfied by what certain players have turned out to be, you might be sort of convinced into believing that certain areas are covered already. But I think the plan has always been to improve this squad, because there are players who have fallen off. You can talk of a player like Anthony, and you easily forget Anthony is in the team. Yet Ruben Amorim plays nearly everyone. So you get a feeling that maybe now that the team is in a good place, you do want to quicken the processes of letting go of players you want to let go, so that you're able to bring in players in time for them to try and step up the squad and push it a bit. So I think we've got to move. That's what I think. I think this is the right time for Man United to move. If you're going to make any signings in Jan, we've got to move now, because if the team is performing and exciting, every signing you will make will certainly, it's easy for a new signing to fit into a good team. Guys, players like Andre Onana, the young Kobe who was elevated into the senior team when it was struggling, all these Joshua Zakzis, they have found it difficult. It's very difficult to be a new player in a team that's struggling, because the thing is, everyone out there, the expectation is high. Everyone out there thinks you're the guy who's going to save them. Yet you cannot do it alone. So if the team has not been performing for long, and you're Joshua Zakzi, you come in and you are an Andrew Onana, you come in and join the team, it's always going to be difficult for you to instantly click, because the team is not performing in any case. So even if the expectation from the people, all eyes are on you and hoping that you're the person who changes it for them, it can't be done, because football is a team sport. So that's why probably the Joshua Zakzis have struggled. That's why the Hoylands up to now are yet to really pick it up and get where we expect them to be. So it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing really. But the beauty is the team is in a good place now. Then add in the players this Jan. Add in 1-2 players, and by the time we get towards the end of the season, perhaps they will have properly jailed in, and who knows where it would be. Because a win against Southampton can only move us up a few places. We've got 23 points now, so a win will take us to 26, can only take us to 12th position. It doesn't feel like a significant progress, but I think it would be okay, because at this point we don't really want to focus a lot on how we move on the log. We want to focus on how we perform and which games we win. Take it a game at a time, and hope that we can win as many and finish as far as high up as we can. My name is Webb, United Sport. I will be back with the proper starting 11 and my prediction.